This is a second part of how to fulfill your every dream. God says when you meditate, you may not realize it, but scientists from some countries have researched this and discovered significant changes in people who meditate versus those who don't. It was found that those who meditated were calm and they were more peacefully, and those who didn't meditate became more stressed and worried. Those who were meditating were learning how to live life, and some also thought of committing suicide. Then they stopped the research on the later group and specifically focused on those who meditate. Why is this happening? They installed sensors and computer systems to note down these things. This is a quite old incident. You might find information on it if you search, but we had read it somewhere. After some days, they observed a rise in cosmic rays coming from the sky towards the brains of those who were meditating. You must have seen this represented as rays of light coming out of someone's hands, etc. on TV and in documentaries, even though in there it is generated with graphics. But that is 100% true for meditation. A ray comes from above and collides with the mind. This is what scientists are saying, and changes begin to take place in their minds. DNA in the cells is strengthened, and inside, the DNA that is being synthesized becomes even stronger. Then they thought of following the source of these rays when they researched for those rays. After a certain limit, they couldn't figure out where those rays were coming from because the scope of the science is limited within the universe, and those rays come from beyond the universe. Where do they come from? They come from Om Ik Onkar Allah, the Almighty God, the Supreme Power. Do rays also come from the blessings of Saint Pir or Fakir, ascetic? Yes, they do come. Why do they come? Because their hand is connected to the Para-Brahma beyond universe, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. According to the science, their sixth sense is always connected to the Almighty God. This does not mean that their sixth sense does not work here. In fact, their sixth sense works many times more than yours here as well. How is this possible? This is that unsolved puzzle, which science may be able to hardly solve ever. But religions have solved this. How? As you were told, Saint Pir or Fakir are not made, they are born. First, when that soul of saints comes into the womb of mother. In fact, all souls are a particle of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, but that soul of saints enters the body directly from God. The rest of the souls of ordinary humans come after completing the cycle of life and death of 84 lakh, 8.4 million births. But the great souls born before today, all the true spiritual Sufi saints who came in all religions, and there were many of them, they were directly a particle of the Om. They are not the souls that are gone through the births and deaths. On one side, there is soul in a human body which has gone around in 84 lakh cycles of suffering, and on the other side, there is a soul to whom God sent directly as a part of himself. Naturally, the soul who has come roaming around has accumulated past karmas, and while suffering for them, it sometimes get angry. Sometimes it deny even Satguru, Ram, God, and sometimes something else comes up. The souls of the saints which are present in their bodies are pure and original particles of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. These souls did not go through other births and came directly into the human body. Therefore, since they came directly, they also have a direct connection with God even in the womb, let alone outside after birth. Now, if the connection is direct, so when they give a blessing or say something, or even they look at you through their eyes, you will feel the affect of the rays. Who are affected by these rays? The one who sits with open arms, seekers, and adorned with jewels of humility and politeness. The one who 100% follows the commands of saints' gurus, not the one who has come to take unwarranted advantage. One who has strong faith in his guru. That's why we always ask you for two gifts. Be true to the commands, vachans, and have strong faith. Naturally, your love will increase. Then you will see that even if eyes meet once with Guru, you won't know what it will reveal. We have no capacity. We are merely conveying, telling, the mercy and grace of the Supreme Father, the Almighty God. This is His doing. Which body He chooses, this is also upon Him. We have no role in this. No saint has any role in this. All of this is the work of the Supreme Power, who creates the body and sends a part of Himself directly into it. It's possible that this question might have crossed the minds of some of you, brothers or sisters, at some point. That's why we are sharing this with you today, or for your information. It can cross the mind of everyone that we have come after suffering through 8.4 million cycles of births. Do saints, pir, fakirs also follow through this cycle of births? Sometimes we get to see these things. Let's assume that if Saint Pir or Fakir says, "Son, do this as such," or if you are sick, then take this. Now 2 or 4 others stand up and say, "Why not me? Why him?" It is possible that without prashad, spiritually blessed food, they, saints, can cure your disease with their divine glance, but it did not suit you. You took it in the wrong sense. That is why you were not cured. Wish you would have taken it in this way, that it means that prashad, spiritually blessed food, is not even needed. Their divine glance is enough for me. Then you would have been cured in a jiffy. So this is something to think about. Spirituality is very deep. Saints do not do anything without a reason, because they do not live for themselves, they live for the entire society. They do not live for themselves, they live for the Parampita Paramatma, Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. They are His slaves, His servants. That is why, at many places, great men have said, even Parampita Dada Rebar Shah Satnamji also said in the earlier body that the work of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is all done only through the saints. These are the words of Beparwaji, Shah Satnamji. And today you have understood why this happens and how it happens. So there were Vachan words were said about Beparwaji, Shah Satnamji, by Sai Mastanaji. In that body, this is how we will say from now on, that all 3 gurus of Darasacha Sauda are one, and they came in 3 different body in form of MSG. You say we maintain the curtain of secrecy. Now many of the curtains have been lifted. So in the form of that body, Beparwaji, Sai Mastanaji, made utterances, commands, which were for himself as well. But he did them for the second body, i.e. of Shah Satnam. G, that whoever sees him will get across, attain salvation, and the one who sees his back will also get across, attain salvation. Whoever listens to him will also benefit, the one who will follow will achieve beyond words. Saiji uttered these while being in the body of Mastanaji for Parampita, Supreme Father, Shah Satnamji. So is your intelligence limited? Perhaps you have a narrow heart, perhaps your brain does not work. Those words were for the body of Sai Mastanaji were also for the body of Parampita Shah Satnamji. And then the Parampitaji Shah Satnamji had also said that we were, we are, and we shall remain. So the matter is absolutely clear. But no, we believe in him, we believe in the other, etc. Many are still stuck in that gear. We used to tell you that we are a son of a farmer, so we have done a lot of farming work. Many times the children there used to check that, Guruji, you don't do so much hard work now. Why are your hands so hard? We said, son, these hands have been earned, not the hands that have been wasted by sitting idle. We don't brag about ourselves. We are saying we were in deep love, affection, with Beparwaji, Shah Satnamji. Now let me tell you a small thing about what happens to a body which loves the Sadguru, a true guru. We always had a desire to accept challenges that if someone gave us a challenge, we would accept it. So once we came to the ashram, met Beparwaji, Shah Satnamji, and did sewa, volunteer service, whatever service we could do. While we were in ashram, back in the village a discussion started. If there is any old villager from my village, then he would know about it. There was a discussion about building a school in the village, and they started putting soil from their respective fields to the site of school because the site had a lot of pits. When we reached there at night, we asked our companions what happened. They said today there was a competition in the entire village. Call it because of me or with Ramji's, God's grace, there was competition in everything. So we will tell you later why it was so. It's funny too. So we asked how many trolleys did you fill? So they said that they could only do 22, others did 26. We said, what a shame. Why did you put 22 trolleys only? They said that the field was a little far. We said, then what? Let's see tomorrow. Next day that trolley was quite big. According to that time, the trolley with 2 tires on each side was big. Even more than 4,000 kilogram loose grams would fit in that. So that was believed to be a big trolley. So we said, let's divide it into 3 parts. When asked which is the most difficult part, they replied the front. It is easier with the back gate opened up. Nowadays, there is even a window on side. But in our time, only the back of the trolley opened, not the front. So we divided it into 3 parts. There were 4 others working together and we were alone. We said that we will fill the front part alone, the back part can be filled by the 4 of you. So the front part, we are talking about this as an example of the blessings of the Almighty. Otherwise, we are nothing. That front part, which was one of what has now become 3 parts, so we used to fill the front part in 2 to 3 minutes all alone. And our spade, it's possible that is still carefully kept by those children. No one used to touch it. We used to say, you guys can use it while I'm not there. The one who was the most powerful among them used to say, Uncle Paternal, we just bow our heads when we see this spade. They said that let the one who the spade belongs be the one to use it, let's not mess with it. Once our paternal uncle's son went there and said, let me carry it and use it. His stomach got so strained that he had to rest for 2-3 days. And I still remember what he said to me when we met later. He said, was it necessary to take the challenge? We were saying that we didn't cause any trouble. We just went to the Dara, ashram. He said, no, what about the big one, spade you have brought here? I asked, what happened? He said, I used it as you use it too. It was time to irrigate the crops, and the furrow of water was big enough. He says, don't ask me. Since that day, this whole mess, stomach strain, has unfolded. So we said, what did the other workers, say? He told me that they said that they can't handle the spade, so they just bowed down in front of it and say we don't mess with it. In reality, it was indeed quite big spady. Kabul Shah Kuban is a place from where the spady had been built. It was very famous then, but we don't know about it now. We used to fill the trolleys with it in 2 to 3 minutes, but the 4 others combined working together took approximately 10 to 15 minutes, that too. When we would stand on top and say, shame on you, what are you doing? I have finished. Put in all your efforts. That time, the other challengers may have put in 28 trolleys, and we possibly put in 46 trolleys. That is to say, this is all the Almighty's mercy, compassion, and kindness. One must have firm belief. Now you might say, now we know how you managed to do it. If you understand, then think about it. What was the need for us to use the spade? If the trolleys could be automatically filled up with one blow of air, Tell me, do you have an answer to this? Well, at that time, we didn't use this divine strength. We only used the body that the Almighty had created, only as a human being, like a human, like a common man. That was all the blessing of the Almighty Benefactor, there is no doubt about it. But until the true form of a saint is not revealed, until the Almighty does not unveil it, those powers aren't revealed. However, these powers may be shown to those who have firm faith. Even then can receive those things which others received later on. The ones who have received them know. So, our aim today is to tell you that in this way, if you love your true Master with a sincere heart, believe us, you will never lose. If you stay positive, negativity will never come close to you. Always stay positive, always have firm faith in your true Guru. The Almighty God provides bountifully.